Joseph Parker calls out Derek Chisora for a trilogy fight. Now, in a recent interview, Parker stated that he will be interested in running it back for a third time against Dubois, and ideally, he wants the fight to take place on the undercard of Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. That fight takes place on the 19th of July at Wembley. Would I want to see a third fight between Derek Chisora and Joseph Parker? My answer is hell yes. The first two fights were very competitive. It was a fun watch. I really liked it. In fact, in the first fight between the two men, Derek Chisora was able to drop Joseph Parker within the first 10 seconds of the first round. Parker then went on to compose himself and he won a highly competitive fight via a split decision. In the second fight, Parker came in much better and he won a unanimous decision. So for me, it's not a bad fight to make. And also, I understand the reasoning behind Joseph Parker wanting to fight Dubois, because Parker's only had 2 rounds in the last 12 months. Now, obviously, Parker is in a great position. He's the mandatory for the WBO title, which Usyk currently holds. So Parker, ideally, he could just sit back, relax and chill and wait until the end of 2025 to get a title fight. Parker doesn't have to do anything. But I get the logic. I get why he wants to fight, because he wants to stay busy. He wants to stay active. 2 rounds in 12 months for a heavyweight, that is dangerous. Do you know what I mean? Things can get very sticky if you get in there for a title fight and you've only had, by the time that Parker fight, it will be like 20 months. Do you know what I mean? It will be 20 months by the time Parker fights. So I understand why he wants to get there as soon as possible and keep himself busy. Now, speaking Dubois is also in a great vein of form. He's 3-0. He beat Joe Joyce. He beat Otto Wallen. So some great opponents in there for Dubois. So Dubois, he's confident, man. Dubois is confident, and Dubois, he wants that 50th fight. He wants that 50th fight. Dubois, he's the mandatory challenger for the IBF title, which currently Daniel Dubois holds. So Dubois, he's thinking about a title fight himself. So will Dubois actually respond to Parker and accept the challenge? I don't think so, man. I don't think so. One, I think because it's going to be Dubois' 50th fight, I don't think he'll want to play second fiddle. I think Dubois, he'll want to headline the O2 or even headline Wembley himself. Remember, when he won against Otto Wallen, he said he wants to fight Usyk, Dubois, or AJ at Wembley. He wants to be the main headliner. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't want to play co-main or anything like that. So Dubois also, if we look at the logistics, there's 6 weeks left before the fight between Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois. Dubois, he doesn't come across as one of those fighters, to me anyway, that stays active, that he's in a gym when there's no fight planned. Do you know what I mean? Joseph Parker, on the other hand, even when he's not in camp, he's still training. I watch his videos, I follow his social media. He's always training every day. He's keeping fit. Do you know what I mean? Just in case. Do you know what I mean? Just in case a fight comes up, he's ready to bounce. He's ready to get in the ring. But on the other hand, Derek Chisora, I feel like he just lives his life, man. Do you know what I mean? He's enjoying life. He's out there, he's eating, living a lavish lifestyle, whatever. He's enjoying life. The only time he's back in the gym is probably when he's going to fight scheduled. Do you know what I mean? When he's in fight camp, that's when you find Derek Chisora in the gym. So in terms of the logistics, the time frame, I don't think Derek Chisora can get ready for someone like a Joseph Parker within 6 weeks. It's just not going to happen. I don't know if he's done it in the past. Probably he's done it in his early days, but right now, at his age, 42 years of age, do you know what I mean? He's going for fight number 50. I think he ideally for Derek Chisora, he'll want about 3 months to plan, get ready for a fight, because number 50 is a big one for him. So I don't think Derek Chisora is going to accept this challenge from Joseph Parker, even though it's another great opportunity for Dubois to make good money. Joseph Parker is a big name in the heavyweight division, but seriously, I just don't see it happening because again, too short notice for Del Boy, and also I think Del Boy, ideally, he wants to be the main event. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't want to do the co-main. He wants to be the main event at Wembley for his 50th fight. He wants to go out with a bang, and also Del Boy is probably thinking, yo, I might get a title here. Do you know what I mean? I might get a title fight. Do you know what I mean? He's the #1 challenger for the IBF. Even though I don't think he's going to get a title shot. I don't think so. I think they're going to find a way to kind of go around him. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like he's not going to get a title shot. But if the IBF are strong in their position and they enforce the mandatory challenger, again, we can see Del Boy fighting for a title end of 2025, man. Do you know what I mean? I can see that happening. I can see that happening, especially the fight between Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois. Let's say Dubois wins and there's a rematch clause in there for Usyk. And if Usyk and Dubois then go for the rematch, the belts might get split, man. Do you know what I mean? Them belts might get split. The WBO might go, IBF might go. So Usyk and Dubois might have a rematch, but not for undisputed. So Derek Chisora and Joseph Parker both might have to fight against other guys in the heavyweight division for the title. Do you know what I mean? So Derek Chisora might be hanging his hopes on Daniel Dubois winning the fight. The belts getting split up, and Chisora might fight for a belt. So all that's what I'm thinking. So all of that, Derek Chisora is thinking, nah, I'm not fighting Parker. I'm not fighting Parker. Do you know what I mean? There's a high risk, low reward for Del Boy. Do you know what I mean? He goes in there against Joseph Parker, who's in great form right now. Joseph Parker is about what? He's like 6-0, man. And look at his last 3 fights. Deontay Wilder, Zhilei Zhang, Martin Bakole. And Bakole was the boogeyman of the heavyweight division. And Parker dispatched of him in 2 rounds. So Derek Chisora, although he himself is in great form as well by beating Otto Wall and by beating Joe Joyce, in terms of the caliber of opponent, you can't compare them to Zhilei Zhang and Bakole and Deontay Wilder in terms of names. Do you know what I mean? In terms of caliber as well and skill, I feel like Joseph Parker has had a tougher fight compared to Derek Chisora. Even though, credit to Derek Chisora, I'm not trying to say like he fought some bums. He fought some decent names in there as well. But in comparison to Joseph Parker, I feel like Joseph Parker has had a tougher opponent. Do you know what I mean? So Derek Chisora is not going to want to go in there against Joseph Parker. Do you know what I mean? Who's what? Around about 10 years younger than him. He's not going to want to go in there, get smoked by Joseph Parker, gets knocked out. Not only would he lose his IBF position as the mandatory challenger for the IBF, but also he will lose on his 50th fight, man. Getting knocked out in his 50th fight, going out like that, I don't think Del Boy is going to want to go out in that fashion. Do you know what I mean? And there's a high possibility against this new Parker, 2.0 Parker, that Del Boy could go in there and get smoked within 2 to 3 rounds, man. Do you know what I mean? Because this is not the more reserved Parker that we've seen in the past. This is a front foot, more offensive style Parker that we got right now. Even though Del Boy himself has improved massively, I have to give him that. This is like Chisora 5.0. Do you know what I mean? It's not Chisora 2.0. At 42 years old, this is like Chisora 5.0. We've seen so many different versions of Chisora, rejuvenated, comeback kid. We've seen it all. Do you know what I mean? But even this current Derek Chisora, I just don't see him being competitive enough to challenge Joseph Parker on current form. Although, like I said, it's going to be a good fight because Derek Chisora goes in there, he gives it everything, he slugs it out, he's going to fight until the death. Do you know what I mean? That is guaranteed with Del Boy. So, listen, in terms of these fights, Derek Chisora, Joseph Parker, I don't think people should be really surprised about Joseph Parker coming out and calling out Derek Chisora because, listen, Parker's just trying to stay active. Do you know what I mean? He's trying to stay active and he wants to stay in front of the British crowd. Do you know what I mean? In terms of like, I'm talking about the British boxing public. Do you know what I mean? He wants to keep that pressure on Uncle Frank, Daniel Dubois, and Alexander Usyk. And by fighting in the co-main event at Wembley. Do you know what I mean? If he beats Derek Chisora, whoever he fights, he can then call out the winner. He could say, listen, Usyk, Dubois, I'm right here. Don't be chickens. Don't duck me again. I'm right here. I've won my fight. Do you know what I mean? So keep your word. Keep your promise, Uncle Frank, and give me the title fight against the winner. Do you know what I mean? Parker wants to stay within the hearts and minds of the boxing public. That's exactly what Parker is trying to do. Do you know what I mean? That's why he wants to fight on that Wembley card on the 19th of July. And also, Parker is a big pay-per-view seller. We've seen Parker sell 1.8 million when he fought Anthony Joshua. So Parker's going to bring a lot of fans to Wembley. And also in terms of the pay-per-view sales, he's going to get a lot of sales for Uncle Frank. So for Parker, it makes sense in terms of staying active. And also for Frank Warren, why not have Joseph Parker as the co-main? Because he's going to bring more eyeballs to the fight and it's going to bring a lot of fans as well. Everyone's happy. Parker stays active, makes money. Uncle Frank gets his pay-per-view sales, makes money. Everyone is happy. Do you know what I mean? So I don't really see a big problem in Joseph Parker calling out Derek Chisora because really and truly, there's really no one else out there. Let's keep it real. There's really no one else out there. Everyone else is locked in. Dillian White is locked in. Do you know what I mean? He's fighting this weekend on the Fabio Wardley versus Huni card. So Dillian White is out of it. Joe Joyce, he's on a decline. Do you know what I mean? He's on a decline. He's not going to fight Joseph Parker. I don't think Joseph Parker wants to go there, even though he can get his revenge. But in terms of like form, Joe Joyce is just not that guy anymore. Do you know what I mean? So Joseph Parker is going to stay away from that. Anthony Joshua, he's busy waiting for Tyson Fury. So Anthony Joshua, he's out of that equation. Do you know what I mean? So the only person that's really left to call out that can really get in there and generate some interest is Derek Chisora. Do you know what I mean? So for me personally, it's not going to happen, but I want it to happen. But looking at the logistics, the time frame, Derek Chisora is not going to accept that challenge. So Joseph Parker is probably going to have to sit it out, wait it out for the winner between Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois and get his title shot end of 2025. But guys and girls, I'm going to leave it at that. Let me know what you think, man. What do you think of Joseph Parker calling that Derek Chisora? Would you like to see a third fight? I don't mind seeing it. Let me know in the comments if you want to see. Once again, thank you so much for watching EMGM Sports. It's me, your boy Enzo. Please don't forget to smash the like button. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe because that's the only way you're going to help us to grow. I'll be back real soon with another one. Until then, stay blessed, my people. Peace.